We got to see the origins of the QUC. We got to see Adebayo and Chris Bond some more. We got to see a little bit of Vigilante. I'm gonna need more of that, I'm gonna be honest. And we got to see Economos stand up for himself? Yeah. This is a pretty solid episode of Peacemaker. This episode of Peacemaker started off somewhere I was not expecting whatsoever. We got to see a flashback of Chris, his brother, his dad, as they discovered the origins of how they found this QUC. And it makes so much sense, bro. There's just no way on any conceivable earth, especially one that God made, that this fucker right here was actually smart enough to make the QUC that can go to 100 dimensions. Are you serious? Turns out in reality, it's this little slug right here who has all the power, all the means to the QUC. That makes so much more sense, bro. The real question is this an imp? Or is this gonna be like a Raelian alien? A Raelian alien? What? A random alien? At first, bro, I thought this was Weasel. Like the noises he was making before they showed him on screen, I was like, Weasel origin? But nah, it's this what I think is probably going to end up being an imp. And after they find the QUC, Peacemaker says that he moved it once when he was a kid and then moved it once again into his dad's house where it was until, well, this episode. So yeah, it all makes sense. Peacemaker says that his dad's a piece of shit dumbass. He flunked out of the 10th grade. How do you flunk out of the 10th grade, bro? You just have to show up. You just have to show up, I'm telling you. Something I did notice though that they didn't fully explain is how Peacemaker's dad gets his helmets. I think that's going to either come up later in the season, or maybe that's a story for later down the line. Who knows? We'll see. Either way, Economos warns Peacemaker what's going on, how the Argus agents are pulling up as we do in this whole James. It's a very James Gunn scene. It felt straight from season 1, but you see the juxtaposition, you see the difference in how the crew doesn't mess with each other in season 1 and season 2, and how they eventually become friends. I don't think that's going to happen in season 2. He texts Peacemaker, he tells him, get the fuck up out of there. Kind of, I mean, he had the worst texting I've ever seen. So Peacemaker grabs that portable QUC, he tells Eagly, we gotta get the fuck up out of here, and they start heading up out of there, simple. My favorite part of this scene, though, was Economos starting to finally stand up for himself, man. He was like, oh, I can't let this fucker shoot Eagly, man. I can't let this redneck piece of shit, crazy racist fucker shoot Eagly, right? So he pushes him, and he damn near murks him. That was crazy. I was like, oh, no way this character's gone already, right? But all that shit does is incite this man to think that Eagly was the one who did it, first of all, and that Eagly is the primal eagle above all eagles. And it leads this nigga to doing a whole Native American dance, which felt wrong to watch. I'm gonna be honest. Watching him dance in his underwear, I'm good off that. It was his blood to create an eagle force and go into like this spiritual lane. This nigga was force ghosting, looking for Eagly, and found him. Why is he so OP? I thought it was gonna be a joke. I thought this dude wasn't gonna actually have powers. He was just gonna be a racist who wanted to kill eagles. I thought that's why Economos said that, but no, this nigga has powers. But let me get back on track here. John Cena, aka Peacemaker, he asked Adebayo to pick him up and help him out with the situation. Basically, he moved to his grandpa's cabin in order to move the QUC there. And she does. Shout out Adebayo, even though she was, you know, looking at her shitty magazine that gets sold to 12 people. Maybe 11 now, considering she's probably gonna unsubscribe. Can't help but feel bad for her, man. But you gotta also appreciate Adebayo and her friendship with Peacemaker. She is literally top friend for him, man. She's always there for him, giving him the advice that he needs to hear, not that he wants to hear, like that nigga Vigilante. Let's keep it a band. But this is the first time he's actually telling somebody about the different universe, about the things going on in there, how it's the best dimension ever, how his brother, his dad are alive and they both love him, how they all get along. And how he, accidentally murked the other version of himself. I knew you weren't gonna throw that in there, Peacemaker. Let's be honest, you were not gonna mention that if she didn't. I gotta mention this though. While that's going on and Peacemaker's trying to move the QUC over, he's got Akana Goat. Yes, that's the name of his phone. Akana Goat. He's got him distracting and stalling. Economos was standing on business in this scene, bruh. He told Birdo, you're literally here to deal with my shit. It's in the dossier. He's mentioned that dossier like 5 times, bruh. Somebody has to read that shit eventually, right? And then he gave Flurry the meanest loogie. I mean, the meanest. It was like gooey. It was wet. It dripped down his face. If somebody spit on me like that, I might shoot you, gang. I'm not gonna lie. Don't flag that. Please don't flag it. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just messing around. But no, that's just like telling you how bad that loogie was. He spit all over that man. Pause. But it was well deserved, Flurry. Stop calling me Ginger Cool, nigga. Damn. Get the memo. But shout out to Akana Goat, because his stalling works, Peacemaker's able to move the QUC over to his grandpa's cabin. But that's when he's faced with the hardest choice, man. That's when he tells Adebayo everything that's going on with Hardcourt, how he feels bad, how he has to go and talk to her, how he has to say goodbye to his Keith. He can't leave him alone, you feel what I'm saying? Even though he murked his version of his brother, so he's cooked no matter what. And let's not forget that he keeps mentioning that this dimension is the best dimension ever, how he thinks he was meant to be there, how maybe there was a mistake and the other Peacemaker was supposed to be in this dimension. It's all, and I mean, it's all leading up to this to either be Earth X or this just simply be a white supremacist universe. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like the catalyst is going to be either vigilante. I almost said Vi. This ain't Arcane. We're going to get that review going soon. It's either going to be a vigilante or an Adebayo going in there with him and saying, oh, this is fucked. And then they're going to have to bring in G.I. Robot and he's going to have to murk the whole universe. About this end of this episode, man, because Hardcourt, what are you doing, gang? I'm gonna keep it a band if I'm being honest. She's not gonna actually turn on Peacemaker. She's probably gonna hoe him next episode and then realize she messed up. And that's when we're gonna get that line that was said in the trailer, we gotta save Chris. But the fact that you're even thinking about setting my nigga Peacemaker up? You that? Now on the real, you can't really blame her for at least thinking about it. I mean, her utilities are about to get cut off. Imagine you ain't about to have water. You ain't about to be able to flush the toilet and all you gotta do is turn in Peacemaker? Like, you gotta at least think about it. Especially when you got the fucking General Rick Flag Sr. coming to your crib and trying to get you unblacklisted. You gotta at least think about it, man. Like, it's impossible to not. But the way Economos looked at her with that disappointment, that's the way I was watching that scene, man. I was just like, shake my head. Oh, and I almost forgot. Judo Master showed up again. He fought Peacemaker again. He got his ass beat. I'm not gonna lie, this Judo Master, he might not need it to come back. Like, what's his purpose in the story right now? I don't really know. But yeah, man, all in all, this was another solid episode of Peacemaker. This season has been solid all around. I can't really complain too hard. If I had to give some negatives, this episode felt way too quick. I'm not going to lie. The fact that the last episode was like 35 minutes and then this one's 40 minutes. James Gunn, what happened? I know you wrote Superman. You wrote Peacemaker Season 2. You wrote Creature Commandos. And I feel like this is where you can tell a little bit because Peacemaker Season 1, the story was longer, it was thicker, I felt like. Not deeper, I won't say deeper, this one's probably deeper. But I will say this one feels a little bit short, but it's probably because James Gunn was writing so much that he felt like the sequel to Peacemaker Season 1 didn't need to be as long. This is me just speculating. No, I don't know the man. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on in his brain. That's just me just speculating. But yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve. My biggest negative is the episodes are too short in my opinion. But other than that, another solid episode. I'm excited to see where this next up. I think this is the episode where we finally get Peacemaker and Rick Flag Sr. meeting. I think he's going to get caught by Argus. But after that, I don't know. I'm kind of curious what y'all think though about Peacemaker Season 2, especially this episode. Drop it in the comments down below, man, because you know we got to talk about it. Simple.